The Bane Maquette by Daniel Bell and Sideshow Collectibles has entered the secret sanctuary. Hey guys, welcome back to the sanctuary. We first met Bane in January of 1993 when he was introduced in Batman Vengeance of Bane, a one-shot issue, a giant issue, which was unusual. Normally we don't get a brand new character with a special giant-sized issue devoted to it, but that's what happened with Bane, and it was the story of this poor kid who his mom gave birth to him in prison, and they were both paying for the crimes of his father. So he grew up in the prison and developed his body and his mind, reading books in 4 different languages, eventually developed a hatred for Batman and made it his goal to come to Gotham and kill the Bat. So that's how we met him. We first met this piece, this particular statue, less than a year ago at Online Comic-Con last summer. So from our first reveal to delivery in less than a year. And so hats off to Sideshow. That's pretty darn unusual these days. We have these incredibly long lag times with Prime 1, some with XM, just about everybody. But Sideshow, every once in a while, like in this case, they get it to us really quick. And I think we should be happy about that, and hats off to them for sure. Let's take a look at this guy. All right, here is the massive Bane. If you look at the Sideshow site, it says this is 26 inches tall. I think he's a little bit shorter than that. He's more like 25.5, maybe even 25.4. So if you're measuring your display cases to see if he'll fit, you've got another ½ an inch more than Sideshow stated. He's also heavy. Most of the Rogue's premium formats are maybe 12 pounds for the ladies and 16 pounds maybe for Mr. Freeze and Scarecrow. This guy is 26 pounds, so he's got 10 to 12 pounds more than the other Rogues. He's a big fella, really heavy coming out of the box. But I've got the exclusive portrait on him right now. I do prefer the larger eyes, and so that's why I've got him on there. And I just wanted to point out the variety of textures on this portrait. You've got kind of this leather quality on it. This area feels more like a canvas. And then this kind of glossy, reflective eyepieces. So I like that attention to detail, that it's not all the same materials. It has a different look. And then of course you've got this hulking physique. This is something that Daniel Bell does exceptionally well. Not just the musculature, but also the vein work is crazy on this piece, especially over here. You can really see it. That is some attention to detail that I truly appreciate. We've got the bloody knuckles, and then there's more blood on these metal studs on his gloves. And then on the elbows, of course. Really very impressive. And then I want to spin it around and show you guys the tubing. So you've got these 4 tubes going into the back of his head. Make sure you detach those when you switch portraits or you'll get a big surprise. But the thing I want to really point out is the bubbles in the tubes. That was a really good idea. It lends an air of authenticity to them that may have been lacking in the Mr. Freeze piece. The tubes on that are just kind of solid, I guess you'd call it aqua colored. But boy, these bubbles really, really makes them look real. Looks fantastic. And it's all through the tubing. It was a really good idea. There's the canister attached to the back of his belt, feeding the venom drug. to both his arm and his head. I'll give you a full view of the back. I love the canister. I think it looks really cool. The boots are neat. They definitely have a leather look to them. Be careful with the laces. I could imagine these being quite fragile. But there's some really nice detail there. Looks great. All right, let's talk about the base a little bit. What we have is what used to be a Batmobile, pretty much a destroyed Batmobile. This is the only piece that comes separate in the box. It just attaches magnetically. Got some nice detail work here. One thing that surprised me is that there's a variety of colors on the base. I think most of the pictures gave me the impression that it was going to be kind of solid, mostly black, but there's a lot of silver here. Then you've got kind of this asphalt color, and then the blacks of the tire and his boots and that sort of thing. This has almost kind of a coppery look to it. So that makes me glad, because one of my concerns about this piece is that it'd be too monochromatic. That is a problem with a lot of, if you collect Batman, if you collect, for example, Prime 1, 1/3 Batman, you have a great deal of black in your collection. So anything they can do to break that up, I think is a positive thing. But I like that base. I thought having kind of a destroyed Batmobile was a good idea. If you read the description on Sideshow's site, the story they're trying to tell is that he has destroyed the Batmobile and he's about ready to destroy Batman. So the battle is about to begin here. This is kind of a, I'm not going to say slimmed down. This is not the super hulked out Bane that some artists represent him as, and some sculptors do. There are some very, very, very hulked out Bane statues, including the last one from Sideshow. This one, I think I might have said before, this is more the way I remember him from Batman Vengeance of Bane. Let's take a look at the other portrait. All right, here is the collector's edition portrait, and I'll show you them side by side so you can see the differences. And I'm curious, what percentage of collectors are going to use one portrait over the other. I do actually like them both. I probably am going to use the exclusive, but they're both really nice, and I'm glad that it's not just the eyes. There's a different pattern. There are significant differences. I did want to mention, if you watched the Sideshow unboxing video, they actually, of course, when they switched portraits, they removed these 4 tubes, which you have to do, but they also removed this piece, which is a magnetic fit into his back. That's not really necessary when you switch portraits. Of course, you have to do the tubing, but you can leave that piece in and still switch out the portraits with no problem at all. Not sure why they did that in the video. I'll give you a long view with this portrait. Pretty sharp. So this piece is not a, exclusive or fail. It's still great with this collector's edition portrait. But shoot, if you can get both, why not go for it? It occurred to me while filming that Daniel Bell is taking over the sanctuary. I have Colossus. I have his Daredevil. I have his Silver Surfer. I have his Thor. I have his Flash. And now I have his Bane. That is 6 pieces. Dude, you're taking over the sanctuary. Other sculptors have got to get to work. Otherwise, I'm going to have to rename this like Daniel Bell's Secret Sanctuary. I put the other portrait back on, the exclusive portrait, because this light up feature with the black light looks way cooler with the larger eyes. Look how awesome that looks. And then I think his belt buckle also looks cool with the black light. But the highlight for me really, well, the eyes look really cool. The highlight for me though is the tubing. Look how awesome that looks under a black light. Just a fun add-on, but man, it really looks cool. I always like to do a size comparison when I can, and this is a really good opportunity to do that. This Batman was always controversial. Some of you guys call him Hunchback Batman. Some of you guys call him Chaps Batman. But I think he goes pretty well with the current premium format line that Sideshow is putting out for the Batman pieces. And I think it goes great with this Bane, but mostly I wanted to show you the size comparison. Bane is obviously much larger, but I think it's appropriate. I think that they did a really good job. Let me give you another look of like Batman in his chest, about the size there, compared to Bane. Bane should be that much bigger than Batman. I think it really works. I wouldn't want, for example, Batman to be as tall, as hulking as Bane is. So I think these two display together extremely well. That doesn't mean that Bane won't display well with any of the other quarter scale Batmans out there, but this one really works well, I think. And I have to say, the Batman line from Sideshow, including Scarecrow and Mr. Freeze and the Gotham Sirens down here, are all really amazing pieces. Sideshow sometimes gets accused of not going deep enough into a line, but they've done pretty well on Batman. Of course, we still want Riddler, we still want Two-Face, we still want Clayface, there's still, Penguin. There's still several characters to do, and I hope that Sideshow does them, but I do give them credit for the pieces they've given us so far. Here's the big damn box. I kind of like how they use the color of the Venom drug for the larger portions of the box. It looks pretty cool. So you've got this nice image of the statue on the front. It just says Bane on the side. And I thought this was clever. It says cracked, like the crack of Batman's back on the back of the box. I thought that was kind of fun. And then Bane again here. It always surprises me. Where is it? Look at the damage to this box right here. This box only traveled 70 miles. Sideshow is 70 miles from me. The shipper was damaged. The art box is a little bit damaged. How does that happen in 70 miles, UPS? What's the deal, UPS? Anyway, the top just says Bane. And then the bottom, what did I get here? I didn't even look at my edition number. 407. And that is the art box. So should you add this piece to your collection? It's a good question. All I can tell you is if you liked the prototype pictures that came out last summer, if you liked the video from Online Comic-Con last summer, if you liked the out-of-box video of the production piece that Sideshow posted to YouTube a few weeks ago, whenever it was, you're going to like this piece. It's exactly what they promised. It matches the prototype. Usually I like to say like 90% is acceptable. I don't see anything different about this than the prototype. So if this is the Bane that you like, where he's not too hulked out, too baned out, whatever you want to say, I think this is a really, really, really nice piece. It is, it's the Bane that I have nostalgia for back from 1993 when he was first introduced. and that's the Bane that I want in my collection. So yeah, it's a great piece. Will it sell out quickly? That's always a question I get. I don't think it'll sell as quickly as Mr. Freeze or Scarecrow because the edition size is double those two pieces. So apparently Sideshow learned their lesson when those two pieces sold out really quickly. So I think you might have more time with this one. I know Bane's really popular. He's in that Harley cartoon, and he's hilarious on that. I don't know if that adds more popularity to him or not when it comes to statues. So you might have a little bit more time with this one than you did with Scarecrow and Mr. Freeze, but keep an eye on the Sideshow site. If it hits low stock remaining, I think that means less than 50 left, so you might want to think about picking him up if that happens. I got nothing else for you today except I just saw Black Widow and it was really cool. I really liked it. I'd give it like a 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. It's a really fun movie. There's a lot more humor in it, just family dynamics than I expected. And it was super enjoyable. Me and my son both really liked it. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you on Facebook. I'll see you on Statue Forum. I'll see you on Rogues Gallery Live. Take care, guys. Have a good night.